What's good? We back with another video. I'm gonna top it off with this last midnight, early morning grind video, and kick it back off tomorrow afternoon. But that's if anything comes up on the boxing grind. But it's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the Boxing Clinic. Y'all know what it is. And apparently Eddie Hearn's in New York for his fighters Danny Jacob and Jarrell Big Baby Miller making his U.S. fighters debut, U.S. promoter debut. In America at the NYC Coliseum in Long Island, New York. What's funny about that, real quick, is that Richard Schaefer pointed out, why would you take two Brooklyn fighters to Long Island? Well, you know what I'm saying? Maybe the Barclays Center wasn't friendly to HBO because they have a close working relationship with Showtime and PBC, and maybe he didn't have enough juice with these two fighters to take it down to Times Square, Madison Square Garden, which is a beautiful venue. I've been there for two separate fights, but never here, never there. He's on the streets asking Americans, do they know who Deontay Wilder is? And we seen another video that I forget the reporter name from Showtime. He's walking down the street with Deontay Wilder. Nobody recognized him in America. 6'7", a boxer. So Eddie Hearn is not telling us something we already don't know. We know boxing is not a fight that's at the forefront of the American sports list. We know that. He says, best believe me if I ask how how many people out of 10 people, how many people you think gonna know Anthony Joshua in the UK and London? Exactly, because that's one of the main sports over there in the UK. Boxing is probably not even the 5th most known sport in America. I mean, you go football, I don't know what's second. Maybe baseball, maybe, say basketball, say hockey. I mean, even NASCAR got a lot of buzz, tennis. I mean, you go down the list, you get my gist. And boxing is, some people would say MMA at one point where it's starting to slide now. I think boxing is above that. Maybe on par with about tennis, a little bit more popular than hockey. I believe that now the Tiger Gum probably more popular than golf. So it's probably like the 4th or 5th most, notarized sport in America. And, boxing is probably top 3 in the UK. I'm not 100% sure on that. But when you have a sport like the NFL, American football, that dominates the headlines, and then after that you got Major League Baseball and basketball that dominates the headlines. I mean, it's hard, with most of the tall, gifted, big, heavier athletes are playing football and basketball and baseball and other sports of that nature. They don't have the athletes over there in the UK like we have in America. So the star power is totally different. They hang their hat on boxing. You feel me? But the thing about it is they're not the best in boxing in the world, not even close. Last time, when did you know a guy from the UK to be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? I'm just keeping it real. So it's a sport that they support. But when you're talking about top-to-bottom talent, the United States is, blowing the UK out the water when you're talking about boxing talent. It's just not a big sport in America anymore because a lot of politics is torn apart. So, of course, if you're talking to a guy that's the 2nd or 3rd biggest sport over there in the UK, if not number 1, not as big as he is, of course, they're going to recognize him. That's like saying, I can't explain it. That's like saying that, over in America, like, who knows who Tom Brady is, or who knows who Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers is. You take Aaron Rodgers to the UK, a lot of people in the UK might not recognize Aaron Rodgers. That's the same thing you kind of saying right here with Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Deontay Wilder is not going to be known in America because he's a 2nd or 3rd rate sport. But if you ask those same people in America who is Anthony Joshua, they not going to know who he is neither. So technically, he was asking the wrong question. You know what I'm saying? And the comparison I tried to make with the football comparison is just saying that, clear it up, like, football is not a known sport in the UK. So, of course, they wouldn't know him. And I know it's kind of like America and Deontay Wilder, but boxing is not a known sport in America. And, of course, they're not going to pretty much know who he is because nobody cares about boxing no more, especially at the heavyweight division. All they know is the Klitschko's. And everybody knows the Klitschko's because they know that's the ones who watered down and tore down the division. That's what most people believe. So, Eddie Hearn was asking the wrong question. Like, you should be asking, for your fighter, like, who is Anthony Joshua? A lot of people ain't gonna know. I'm pretty much sure more people know in America who Deontay Wilder is than Anthony Joshua, and I stand on that opinion. But yeah, but it is what it is. He want to sit there and do everything to avoid this fight, besides make the fight happen. And that's the route he want to do. They don't want to make the fight because the fight financially don't make enough sense for them. Now, fighting Tyson Fury, it makes sense for them. It's a domestic fight. He 500 pounds. He ain't going to get in shape. He going to fight you while he barely can get in shape, because he probably needs the money. He been out for 2 years, blowing money and not having no real money come in. So he wants to fight you. He going to get in enough shape to get cleared by the commission. And he going to make $50 million. Joshua going to make $50, $60 million. It makes sense. Because Joshua's getting handicapped versus a fat, out of shape guy that been fought in 2 years. Versus a guy like Deontay Wilder that can knock him out, knock his block off, and that's active. He don't care about the respect factor because the UK fans are going to respect him regardless. He care about the financials, and that's what they should come out and say. Like, Deontay Wilder ain't big enough financially. We like him fight Dylan White to get more known in the UK, and they should just be honest, but they're not going to do that. We out.